Okay, so how do we secure the property after we take ownership? Like I said before, it depends on if you are in the area, if you're not in the area, and it also depends on how much work it needs and how soon you can start working on it. So step number one, don't forget this. You always want to get insurance on that thing first before you do anything. Once it's time to secure it, we're going to assume that you are not in the same state. It's not feasible for you to go there and handle it on your own. The very first thing you want to do after you get the insurance is go to the property assessor's website, the county assessor. You should be pretty familiar with that because that's what we've been going over to find out who owns what and what parcels are where. So hop in that website, look at your property, and figure out who the neighbors are. Once you establish that, you're going to send a letter to them and just let them know who you are. Put your phone number in there, tell them you took ownership of the home, and you're going to kind of bring it back up, add some value to the neighborhood, make it not so much of an eyesore. If it's in bad shape, it might not be. It could be move-in ready. It just depends on the kind of house that you're getting. But for the most part, it's probably not going to be move-in ready. So the neighbors are certainly going to be happy that you're coming in and cleaning this thing up because not only is it an eyesore, it probably brings down the values of the other homes around it. And vacant properties like that, they tend to be a hub for squatters, homeless people that are staying in there to stay warm in the winter or at night. Vandalism, trash, people will be dumping on the property. Dumping is a really bad thing. That's when people just throw huge amounts of trash on your property, which you don't want because you got to clean it up. So that's number one. Get a hold of the neighbors. When you do that, your goal is to get them to reach out to you or watch the property. And most of the time they actually do. As long as you stay cool with them and you let them know that you're trying to bring the values up, it's not uncommon. They call me usually if something fishy is going on at the property. Another thing you can do, and this kind of depends on how big the community is that you got the home, but some communities have police drive-bys. So if there's not a lot going on at night, the police have certain homes. You got to call the police department, tell them that you've got a vacant property and you're a little worried about it. So if there are people in the neighborhood or officers in the neighborhood on patrol and they're slow, in some cities they'll do drive-bys. They kind of just drive through the neighborhood just to show their presence. That helps a little bit as far as vandalism and theft, things like that. Now, hopefully you don't have to do this and you got a move-in ready property. If you did, you struck gold. Congratulations. But more than likely, it's not going to be like that. So next, what we want to do after we establish that, we're going to assume that your property is in another state and it's not in the best shape. So what we want to do after that is we want to secure it by boarding up the windows and the doors, unless you're able to get on the maintenance and renovations right away. That would be a little bit different story, but if you're going to flip it to a wholesaler or it's going to be on the market for a little bit and you just don't want people messing with it, you want to secure it. So easiest way to do that is you can call a handyman or a contractor. They probably will know what to do. But what I like to do is I'll call it's called a property preservation company. And what they do, they work for the banks. So when a bank acquires a foreclosure, they have to secure the property just like you would. And when I say secure it, that means boarding up the windows, making sure it's winterized, making sure it's safe, no trash, no weeds. They kind of keep the yard somewhat respectable to avoid fines and things like that. The reason I like these companies is that's what they specialize in. That's all they do. Their whole business is just securing these properties. So they're going to know the most about it. Now, if their price starts getting kind of crazy, most handymen could handle something like that. The only thing I don't like with a handyman or a contractor, especially if you're not in the area, you're kind of exposing the property, letting people that you don't know that the property's vacant and you're not going to be there. So if you happen to land on a sketchy contractor, you could get into some dangerous water there with them maybe messing with the property, which you don't want. So why would we secure the property? Mostly it's going to be because of Vacant properties are going to have vandalism, or potentially could have vandalism. They could be caught on fire, like the one I showed you in the video. Weather plays a big role. If you have a bunch of broken windows and things like that, and it's winter or it's storming, you don't want to cause further damage, costing you more money in repairs. So that's primarily why you want to secure the property. And again, that just depends on the condition that it's in and how far away you are in terms of, are you going to be able to go renovate right now? Does it need to be renovated, or can you just sell it right now? It really depends on your goals, but assuming it's needing some attention, those are the steps you would take to secure it.